The Kaduna State House of Assembly has adopted a report from an ad hoc committee tasked with probing the administration of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. The report submitted by Mr. Zacharia during Wednesday's plenary faulted Mr. El-Rufai's administration on the multi-billion-naira loans it obtained from the state, or for the state, I beg your pardon. The report alleged that the loans were not used for their intended purposes, and in some cases, due process was not followed in securing the loans. Receiving the report, the Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, Yusuf Liman, said that a total of 423 billion naira was siphoned by the El-Rufai's administration while leaving the state with huge liabilities. The committee therefore recommended the investigation and prosecution of El-Rufai. Some other indicted members of his cabinet, of course, by security and anti-corruption agencies for abuse of office through the award of contracts without due process, diversion of public funds and money laundering, as well as plaguing Kaduna State into heavy debt.
Well, do recall that in a statement issued through his media advisor, Muyiwa Adekeye, El-Rufai has criticized the probe, calling it a politically motivated hatchet job, denying the allegations. El-Rufai served as governor for 2 terms between 2015 and 2023. Also recall that on March 30, Uba Sani, governor of Kaduna, said his administration inherited a debt of $587 million, 85 billion naira and 115 contractual liabilities from El-Rufai's administration. Well, joining us now is National Coordinator, Coalition of Northern Groups. We do have with us Comrade Jamilu Aliyu Charanchi. Thank you so much and good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing fine. Just that this story is one that could, make you catch cold. So let's delve into it very quickly. Now, a number of Nigerians, most importantly, got to see this story yesterday, and some have quickly resorted to saying that it is politically motivated, even from the respondent from the camp of the former governor El-Rufai. First off, what's your thought on this? And do you think that this is truly politically motivated?
Well, you see, good morning, Nigerians. Well, you see, it is understandable for the government of distinguished Senator Obasani to investigate the former happenings of the Kaduna State government. It is understandable. But for Obasani to come out to tell us that Nasir El-Rufai has acquired the loan in another way around, he didn't acquire the loan properly, he indebted Kaduna State, that will be ridiculous, and I think it is an abuse to the sensitivity of Nigerians. Because we can easily recall, history will not forget anything. We can easily recall when people like Sheikh Husani, who was representing Kaduna now as of then at the Senate, they were saying that they could not allow El-Rufai to incur such amount of loan because they believe that Kaduna State will be indebted and there must be a repercussion or consequences for that being indebtedness to that state. And that's what actually brings Obasani as a senator of Kaduna as of then at the National Assembly. They facilitated the loan, they do whatever they can do possibly happens to ensure that El-Rufai secured that loan. And El-Rufai secured the loan. And now Obasani is complaining. What is he telling all Nigerians? What is he telling the individuals of Kaduna State? Is he trying to tell us that he just played with our intelligence? Is he trying to tell us that that game was played just for his own political interest? Is he trying to tell us that he has no people in his mind? Is he trying to tell us that he didn't calculate it very well, that there must be a repercussion or consequences of that loan to Kaduna State government? Or is he trying to tell us that he never knew that he would be the governor of Kaduna State? That's why he allowed Nasir El-Rufai to do whatever he did, because that will not affect him directly. And now he has become the governor of Kaduna State and he began to shout and make mouths. He began to complain that the loan was Nasir didn't even supposed to secure that loan. Who facilitated the loan? So even if El-Rufai, at least he betrayed the people of Kaduna State, I believe that people like Obasani must have a large share of that betrayal to the good people of Kaduna State. Yeah, and he is telling us that.
Yeah, just to chip in, it's pretty much almost the same thing that we saw in Rivers State, where the River State Governor Sim Fubara, who was part of Gerson Wike's government, is now calling for a probe of the Nyesom Wike government because of, misappropriation of funds, and people mention that he was a part of that government. So, I mean, that's pretty much the same thing you're saying now about Obasani and Nasir El-Rufai, but it doesn't, regardless of whether he benefited or he was part of the, the loan requesting phase of the Kaduna State government back then, doesn't stop the need for a probe. I'm not sure if you think otherwise. The fact that he may have been part of that government doesn't mean that questions should not be asked as to how the state, seems to, not be able to account for 430-something billion naira. We're talking, about hundreds of millions of dollars here.
You see, we are talking about two things here. One is securing the loan. He said that the loan even secured it indebted Kaduna State government. Then secondly, we are talking about the proof of Nasir El-Rufai's administration. I have no any issue with the proof of Nasir El-Rufai's administration, as I have no any issue with the proof of Wike's administration. Because being you part and parcel of that administration, in as much as you are not the head of that administration, there are things that are beyond your control. And there are things that you may like and you may not like, but your boss or your CNC may decide to do it. Now, but if you become the CNC, you may decide to investigate the previous administration, even if it happens that you are part and parcel of the people who have looted that state. I have no problem with that. But the issue is that for you to facilitate me to secure a loan, and you come back and tell the whole world that I have indebted my state, that is ridiculous. You would have told me that you shouldn't secure that loan, especially when some people have even raised an alarm that that loan will not be healthier to our state. And that loan, if we secure the loan, there must be a consequences and detrimental consequences to the state. But you ignore the call, you ignore the hearing, you ignored all the calls, all the shouting people have been made. In fact, some people have to pay the supreme price of that loan by sacrificing their seat. And that's what even makes Obasani to be the senator of Kaduna North. That's what I'm saying. I have no problem with him to prove whether El-Rufai's administration has integrity or not. I have no. But one thing I am very much sure of is that El-Rufai has done something to that state. And if you go to Kaduna State today, you will realize that there are a lot of developmental projects that El-Rufai has put to that state. I pray that by the end of the Obasani's tenure, he may be able to do such kind of project in Kaduna so that at least posterity will even remember him, even if there are loans allegations or corruption allegations against him. In as much as he can do that, I definitely know that the good people of Kaduna State and Northern Nigeria in general will appreciate how he handled the issue.
Would you recommend, regardless of how much infrastructural development El-Rufai brought into Kaduna State, would you also recommend a probe into the finances of Kaduna State in the time that he was governor?
Why not now? It has to be proved because Nasir El-Rufai is not above anybody. If there are any allegations against him that he mismanaged the content, he has to be investigated. And if he is found guilty, he has to be dealt with so that at least to serve as a detriment to other people. The difference here is that why would Obasani persuaded Nasir El-Rufai to secure that loan? And why would he be complaining about the loan? He shouldn't have talked about that loan.
When you say he persuaded him, when you say he persuaded him, are you saying that Nasir El-Rufai wouldn't have taken those loans if not for the convincing words of Obasani?
Whether convincing or other convincing actions. When Sheikh Husani and co were the senators in Kaduna Central at the National Assembly, he was unable to secure the loan. They protected it. They do all things possible to ensure that he didn't get that loan. And we never knew that that would be a blessing to Kaduna State until now Obasani is telling us that what Sheikh Husani did is a blessing to Kaduna State and the good people of Kaduna State. Then if you know that it will be a blessing, why will you allow him to do that? Why will you even facilitated it? You should have done the same thing what Sheikh Husani has done when he was representing Kaduna North at the National Assembly. So it will be a ridiculous and abuse to the sensitivity of people of Kaduna State for now, for Obasani to be telling them that that loan, he shouldn't have secured that loan. Now Kaduna State is indebted. Now this thing and this thing and this thing. He would have gone straight to the point that we will prove the previous administration to see whether they are right or not. Where they have looted the treasury, they should bring it back, and there must be a detrimental consequences for looting the treasury. That would have been fair to him and fair to Kaduna State people and fair to the people of Northern Nigeria. All
right, Mr. Charanchi, one thing that continues to baffle a lot of persons, especially from the north and the entirety of the country, Nigeria, is the fact that a lot of politicians seem to have their names being, called out after office or during their time in office for embezzlement of funds. We did see the recent one of the former governor, Bello Matawale, who's also having his own case coming forth. Now we've seen former Governor El-Rufai. We've also seen the current chair of the APC, who's also been called out, especially for funds and so on. You know, so many instances, and we can continue to mention names upon names upon names. Before this one, we also saw White Lion as well, whom the EFCC have not been able to find up until now as we speak. Do you think this case that has to do with the former governor El-Rufai holds water? Do you think it would lead to anything at all? Because Nigerians have seen these things happen, but at the end of the day, nothing happens.
You see, our problem is that we don't have leaders in the news, particularly the political leaders. I mean, we don't have leaders. We only have politicians, and the politician always cares on how to secure the next election, while a leader always cares how to secure the next generation. In a situation whereby you have a leader who doesn't have people at his heart, who doesn't have passion for the people, and he doesn't have the passion for the progress or development of these people, that means that leader can do anything for him to ensure that he retain his seat or he can secure next election. And our major issue challenges in the country in general is that the politics has already been monetized. You cannot go to politics without money. So these people are looking all desperately, all means that they can amaze wealth, so that at least whenever they are looking for any possible seat, appointment, whatever it is, at least they can find their way in through their means or through their wealth. That's the issue. That's why you have been seeing all these corruption allegations from different places. In fact, the corruption allegations that even you cannot even think of, you cannot even quantify, you cannot even think of somebody who has sense, somebody who has passion for his people, somebody who even believes in the hereafter and took that amount of money and go and kept it somewhere else that he cannot even use it. Where we have dilapidated roads, where we have collapsed schools, where we have collapsed education sector, where we have insecurity everywhere, where we have health issues everywhere, but you can still amass such kind of huge amount of money and go and stash them somewhere else. You that you cannot benefit with it, you cannot use them, you cannot do anything with. We have even seen a situation whereby some people are even driving Peugeot 406 out of the government house.
Yeah, Comrade.
How ridiculous these people are. It is very unfortunate.
Comrade Charanchi, thank you very much. We, of course, are out of time for this conversation. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see how the case in Kaduna State develops. I also saw a response from Senator Shehu Sani, you know, that we probably will talk about next time you stop by. Thanks for your time, and see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.